Welcome back. Well, Nigeria's trade surplus narrowed to $1.6 billion, with exports and imports rising simultaneously. Also, we're going to have our eyes on the OPEC emergency meeting coming up later this month, with a lot of anticipation that Nigeria's production cut exemption might be revoked. These and more, of course, will be our focus on the commodities market update, as I'm being joined by one of the research analysts at financial derivatives company, Chiamaka Madu. Good afternoon, Chiamaka. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now we've seen the trade surplus, $1.6 billion in second quarter. So what may have contributed to this?
Okay, we see that it narrowed in Q2 of 2017 at $1.6 billion compared to what it was in Q1 of 2017. And we see that exports and imports were rising simultaneously. But the fact is that exports grew faster than imports in that quarter. But it's actually an improvement if you see what happened in Q2 of 2016, where we're in a deficit position. So moving from a deficit position to a surplus position is an improvement. And so what causes improvement? We see the value of crude oil exports, increase.
Now, what we have seen playing out in the global oil market, are we likely to see more improvement in the third quarter for the trade surplus?
Yeah, given the fact, if, the rebound in our oil production, considering the fact that oil production is, the major export revenue generator for our country, if the rebound in oil production and oil prices still trade at currently at what it is, then we should see, trade surplus, come up in Q3 of 2017.
Now, we are expecting the OPEC meeting, which is likely to come up later this month. And, of course, discussions will center on the compliance as well as extension of production cuts. And Nigeria may be, included in the production cut. What would be the implication of this for us as a country? And do you see Nigeria resisting this?
I think we need to answer two pertinent questions. And number one is there a justifiable reason for Nigeria to be included in this oil production cut? And number two is, will Nigeria be better off, producing less or more given the current prices? But I'm going to answer the first question. What's our current Nigeria's quota? That's 2.2 million barrels per day. Then what's the current oil production for Nigeria? According to the latest OPEC reports, we're at 1.86 million barrels per day, which is above the 1.88 million barrels per cap, set by OPEC. So we could say that, yes, there's a justifiable reason for, OPEC to cut our oil production. But let's not forget that we just recently came out of, the disruptions in the Niger Delta region. So I think we still need recovery time to see that this rebound in our oil production is sustainable before, joining the OPEC cut. At the forthcoming meeting, yes.
Yeah, so what is your general outlook on the global commodities market, in particular, crude oil?
I think it's dependent on the outcome of the OPEC meeting. If, status quo is maintained, if the oil cut is not extended beyond March 2018, then we should see, oil prices trade at what it is. But if, the oil cut, is extended beyond March 2018, we should see, an increase in the oil prices.
All right. Thank you very much, Chiamaka, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to have you again.
I look forward to being here again.
Right. Now we'll move now to Congo, where the state miner, Gécamines, says foreign partners in copper and cobalt projects may have artificially minimized Gécamines' proceeds, and that it intends to implement new controls to hold its partners accountable. Gécamines said that the preliminary results of audit conducted on its partnership indicate that Gécamines' partnerships may have not been managed in the best interest of all shareholders, particularly the minority shareholders, Gécamines. And Zimbabwe's maize reserves have hit 1 million tons, the highest in more than 17 years, after the Southern African nation produced surplus maize. Last year, Zimbabwe was hit by a devastating drought that left millions in need of food aid. But the government said above-average rains and state-funded farming inputs like fertilizer and seed had lifted maize output to 2.1 million tons this year. Zimbabwe, since 2001, has relied on maize imports and food aid to feed itself, a situation critics blame on President Robert Mugabe's often violent seizures of white-owned commercial farms to resettle landless black citizens. Mugabe on September 8 said despite harsh criticism of the land seizure drive, the program was paying off, with agriculture expected to contribute to economic recovery and the country set to regain its status as a regional breadbasket. And Huawei Technologies has launched a series of low-price smartphones targeted at the price-conscious consumer in Kenya. This is to see up rivals like Apple and cheaper Chinese imports to boost market share.
China's Huawei Technologies has changed its strategy in Kenya this month to showcase an affordable $100–200 range of smartphones, hoping that the increased sales will boost its local market share. Huawei is ranked number 3 in the fast-growing local smart devices market, behind South Korea's Samsung Electronics and Tecno, owned by Hong Kong's Transsion Holdings. The company had started offering 3 smartphones with retail prices starting at 8,999 shillings or $87 to 22,999 shillings, which is about $220, as part of a strategy to lift its market share in that segment from 4% to 15%.
This year, why we focus on this? Because we found the Kenya market is a price-sensitive market, and also entry-level smartphone device is popular here. So we also from this year, we not only launch high-end, we also launch entry-level. This entry-level also in Kenya market, you know, the market size is the biggest. So we highlighted this.
According to Safaricom, the biggest operator with 72% market share or 28 million users, there are 13 million smartphones on its network, up from 10 million last year. Consumers have been giving up their well-worn feature phones to take advantage of relatively fast internet speeds and applications such as WhatsApp and those that facilitate banking and taxi-hailing services.
Actually, we growing a bit slower than our competitors, you know, like Samsung, Tecno, right? And actually, our market share last year is only 14%. So we want to approach higher. But you know, Kenya market, it's a different market, low cost level.
Huawei previously focused on the mid-range of smartphones, where it has a 30% market share. It also sells the premium Mate series phones in the Kenyan market for the well-heeled. Huawei, which is based in Shenzhen, China, competes with Apple and other devices vendors for global consumers.
They trend. Like right now we've launched the mid-range phones whereby people do love them. They move like daily we could sell maybe like 10 to 20 phones.
It's nice, it's not that much expensive. It's good. The price is okay, not expensive. Actually, right now, I'm going to look for something and then I come for it, said Bill Koremo, a customer. Official figures show the annual average Kenyan wage is $1,200, and so most people cannot afford expensive smartphones.
And with that, we wrap up the program for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimizi Obi Iwabu.